Welcome to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. I'm Scott Jordan. It is time to begin our 2025 season previews, and we're going to kick it off with the Arena Series. So we're going to rock East, Central, and West, and we're going to get right to it. Joining me on the Great Clips hotline to navigate and break down Arena Championship Series East, the brand new overall event champion, MJ Solorio, El Toro Loco. MJ, welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, man. Good to have you back so soon.
Thanks, man. It's awesome being back.
Big things happened for you. You won the overall event championship. I call that the Inside Monster Jam rub. You come on the show, good things happen. I keep stressing that. And you moved from California to Idaho. That's major news, man. Talk about that move real quick.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess that means I'm on the podcast now. So that means I'm starting off the season with another overall.
There you go.
I hope that's the way that works. But yeah, man, we took the big jump. We moved from California to Idaho. We're on the East Coast next year. So this happened all before that, but now I got a little bit of a shorter flight. So that's going to be a lot nicer.
Awesome. I love to hear that. Well, let's talk about your series, because you're moving from the west to the east. You get Kristen Anderson, Tony Oakes, Michaela, and Brandon Toluchka. And then you get Mark Hall and Kurt Kramer, and there will be a Monster Mutt Dalmatian truck on your series. We just don't know who's going to be driving that. I assume that'll be announced in the coming weeks. So right out the gate, Kristen and Tony had probably the best battle for a series championship a few seasons ago in Monster Jam. So when your first initial reaction to this lineup, what was it? When you saw this is who I'm going to be going up against, what did you think?
There's a lot of everything going on there. I was excited, kind of nervous at the same time, because I've gotten the opportunity to run with just about everyone in my lineup this coming season. And, like you talked about that thorn, or the battle between Kristen and Tony there, I'm hoping I can be that thorn in their side this year, where I'm kind of just nipping at the heels the entire series, and hopefully we come out higher than fourth place. We finished fourth last year in the Marina West, so I'm hoping for at least third or second this year.
And then you get your independents on the series, the Toluchkas, and Brandon and Michaela are obviously no slouches. Brandon won quite a few competitions. Michaela is great in donuts and is really starting to step up. You get Mark Hall, who is a legend in the monster truck industry, and Kurt Kramer, who is still on the rise here in Rammunition. So I don't think not that anybody does take a night off, but it's a phrase in sports that, sometimes people can take a night off because they're so good at what they do. You were very good at what you do. You're a champion, but obviously with this lineup there's going to be no nights off for you.
Absolutely not. That's why they call it a championship series. It is a long road all the way to the end. And like you said, we got a lot of great competitors this series, and there is going to be no nights off, because you never know when somebody can come up and sneak in behind you and try and steal those points away from you. So you got to stay on your toes and be ready to bounce back every single time.
Kristen Anderson is a series champion. Tony Oakes is probably, when you talk about drivers that have been around for a long time, that are really good, that have never won a series championship, Tony Oakes is right up at the top of that list. So there are a lot of fans out there that think his time is coming. So when you look at those two big names at the top of the card for Arena Championship Series West, East, what is it going to take for you to walk into that series, say, hey, I'm no longer in California, in Idaho we eat potatoes, and win? What's it going to take for you to win that series?
I just got to stay consistent. Like you said, those two are going to be battling with themselves the entire series. So as long as I can stay consistent and keep getting my points week in and week out, I think I can be that thorn in their side, that once it comes down to the end, they're like, oh man, that we really got to step it up now, because here comes MJ and El Toro creeping up on us.
All right, let's talk about some of the cities you're going to. Your series kicks off January 4th. In Greenville, South Carolina. You're going to Greensboro, Baltimore, D.C., Providence, Pittsburgh, Allentown, Tupelo, Mississippi, Biloxi, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Des Moines, Iowa, Lincoln, Nebraska, Colorado Springs, Pensacola, and then hopefully Monster Jam World Finals. Now, I'll talk to you off air because you came from the West Series. Most of these places you have never competed in, correct?
Yeah, I haven't been to most of those places. What's nice, one of those cities did roll over from last series, Lincoln, Nebraska. That arena is amazing. I got family out there. My dad lives out there, so I'm super pumped to be able to go back that way. And then Des Moines, Iowa, that actually lands on my birthday, so it's going to be a fun time those 2 weeks there.
What do you think out of all these cities will be the best place to go? The correct answer is Baltimore, but what is your opinion of what the best city is for you to go to?
I honestly have no clue. I've never been to most of these, so I might have to take your word and say Baltimore.
They have amazing crab cakes in Baltimore, man. That's all I'm going to say. So the winner of the series, much like the winner of every other series, gets an automatic bid to Monster Jam World Finals in Utah, Salt Lake City for the first time. We're heading out there to that. So we already talked about you coming in and trying to battle, Kristen and Tony and all these other incredible drivers. You come out in this incredible second year. You win a series championship. You punch your ticket to World Finals, man. What is MJ Solorio, this young kid, the Cali kid, gonna do in Salt Lake City?
Man, at that point, if I'm honestly gonna cry at first, there'll be tears. But after that, that's just it. Really solidifies my spot here in Monster Jam and proves that I mean to be here. I'm meant to be here, and I just got to let that bull go crazy. That's World Finals. That's what the fans pay to see, is just carnage and big air and all that fun stuff. So that's what you're looking forward to.
Well, MJ, I appreciate you being here, man. Best of luck to you in 2025, and all the fans, I'm sure, looking forward to seeing you in El Toro Loco.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Coming up next, we are just getting started. Jon Zimmer Jr. is back on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan. This week we are previewing the Arena Championship Series, and my guest this time is an incredible driver in Monster Jam. He made his big return earlier this season. We're going to the Central Series to welcome back Terminal Velocity's Jon Zimmer Jr. Jon, welcome back to Inside Monster Jam. Thanks for being here.
Twice in 1 year, Scott. That's a new record for me, man. This is awesome to be back.
It's a big story, Jon. You guys are back full force. You and your dad with this new team. Your dad in Uproar, and he's moving into Zombie for 2025. But it's such a big story to have you guys back, and I still think it's surreal to some fans, because obviously as a Monster Jam fan, you never know what's going to happen, and that's the same way with any sports. But a lot of fans out there were thinking negatively when you guys stepped away. Oh, they're never coming back, and it was only a year. So now you're back. You're going to compete on a championship series. We remember the last time you competed on a championship series. You were so close to winning. You had to battle Weston Anderson until the very end. You got to go to World Finals for the skills competition. Now that you've stepped away, you're coming back into this talented Central Series. And what are your expectations of 2025?
I'm hoping to, at least back myself up and finish in second, but obviously I had a taste, I was so close to being first and, and taking over the lead from Digger. And I just want to come out swinging just like I did in 23 and hopefully end up winning the championship now.
You have an incredible series. When I looked at all of these Arena series, I looked at the Central and I said, man, this is the tough one, because you have Matt Cody, who is coming off a series championship at Gravedigger, so he's going to be there the whole time. Fernando Martinez, Rookie of the Year. Jamie Sullivan, Rising Star. She's going to be in Sparkle Smash. Angelina Knock, who is going to have a sophomore season. Then your dad, you're going to compete against your dad every night. And then you have these two wild cards, Triton and Montana Robbins, who, from an independent standpoint, I have heard all the hype. I've heard all the talk. They backed it up when they came back to Monster Jam. What are your thoughts on Plain Crazy and Crazy Train being in Monster Jam on your series?
It's absolutely awesome. I'm glad that they're now getting to compete, and because I've got to run with them a lot on independent series, and those boys are no joke, man. They bring it every single weekend, run as hard as they can. Their equipment is top notch. It's amazing competitiveness of, like, we all talk like we want to win, right? But like when all of us get out on the track together, us three, just like last season on the independent series that we were all on, it was neck and neck battles right to the end.
So when you look at this lineup, and there's going to be a lot of hype surrounding Sparkle Smash, because we saw Kayla debut that truck this year. Now we get a second Sparkle Smash in the arenas. Jamie Sullivan, who has had a phenomenal season. I think when I look at Monster Jam, over 30 years, I think she's had one of the biggest second-year jumps I've ever witnessed. So she's going to be tough. Is there anybody on this series, Jamie, Fernando, Angelina, Matt, that stands out as somebody that you're going to have to knock over to win a series championship?
Well, it's definitely who we just talked about too, the two Robbins boys for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely Jamie now, because just like you were just saying, she's had an incredible jump in driver talent over the past 2 years. Because I got to compete against her in my her very first season in 2023, and from there to now if you didn't know that was her driving,
yeah,
you would think it's two totally different people driving. So you definitely can't take her lightly by any means. And then you got Matt Cody coming in. He's coming into a full series, 4 arenas. He was on the international stuff, and he was just kicking butt over there, man, in that black and green truck. So definitely probably one of the hardest tours. So I can't take any of them lightly. Every single one of them is going to be a fight.
Do you think with you and your dad and the Robbins boys that this is the year that an independent wins a series championship?
I definitely want to. I want to be that first independent to win. I was so close in 2023. And then last season, well, in 24, watching Dalton Widener, he had an even closer points gap
Yeah.
at the end of his season and ended up getting to go to the World Finals. That was super cool. But yeah, I definitely think this season between across all the tours, I think an independent's going to win.
Let's talk about your cities. Your series debuts in Nashville, January 4th. You go to Milwaukee, Newark, Brooklyn, Belmont Park, Worcester, Little Rock, Rosemont, Grand Rapids, Toledo, Green Bay, Hartford, Albany, Hampton, Evansville, South Haven, Moline, Lexington. Let's talk about Brooklyn, John. You're going to the Barclays Center for Monster Jam. Have you ever been to the Barclays Center?
No, not at
Oh,
all. That's
man.
is it the first time? Have
Yep.
you been there
It's the
before?
first time, my friend. I've been to the Barclays Center once. I went to the MTV Video Music Awards back in 2014. I saw Justin Timberlake win the Video Vanguard Award. He was dancing. I was dancing. Nobody could tell the difference. It was the greatest night of my life. I'm really joking. It wasn't the greatest night of my life, but I had a blast. It was fun, man. That building is incredible, man. You got to be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I definitely am. And a lot of the other stops on the tour too. I don't know that we've been there or not, but every time we show up to a weekend where we've never been to a certain venue, like it's the very first time, everybody on the entire tour is going to throw down and make it the most memorable.
Well, which one of these cities are you looking forward to the most? Because there's some classic Monster Jam arenas, the Ford Center in Evansville, Milwaukee, the Pfizer Forum, Nashville, Bridgestone Arena. A lot of these are classic Monster Jam arenas. Van Andel in Grand Rapids, Rosemont, you get the Allstate Arena, which is like Monster Jam hub there. So is there one that you're particularly looking forward to the most?
I'm actually looking forward to Nashville because then that would give me, the full complete circle. I've done the stadium for
Right.
both finals, got to do the stadium earlier this year as an actual event, and then now I get to go do the arena. So that one is pretty high on the list that I'm looking forward to.
How you think your dad's going to handle a full series again? I know that he and I are both getting up there in age. You think the old man's going to be able to hang on?
He's definitely going to hang on. He's sandbagging this right now in these off seasons,
Yeah.
and he's just saying he's going out to have fun. And it's not like he's not trying. I won't say he's not trying, but I know he's got a lot left in the tank.
All right, well, John, great to have you back so soon. I look forward to you coming again. Maybe we'll do it in a couple weeks. Who knows? Season 4, I'm going to lock you in. Jon Zimmer Jr., man. Best of luck in 2025.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Coming up next, we talk about the West. Megalodon's Ashley Sanford returns next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. This week, we are previewing the Arena Championship Series West. We've done the East. We're throwing that away. We've done the Central. We're throwing that away. We are rolling up and loading up on Arena Championship Series West, and my next guest is going to help me dive into it. We go to the Great Clips hotline to welcome back Megalodon's Ashley Sanford. Ashley, great to have you here. Welcome back.
Hello. I am so excited to be here talking about 2025. I am ready.
And I could tell from the background you're ready for Halloween. I saw the pumpkin behind you. I love the spirit. Halloween, one of your favorite times of year?
It is. I am all about spooky season. It gets me in the mood, whether it's horror or a Disney classic. I am all about October, spooky season, all the holidays. And fun fact, there may or may not be a broken Meg fin hanging out of one of my bushes outside of my front yard.
All right.
Scaring all the kids in the neighborhood that Megalodon is around.
Well, there you go. Anybody who lives by Ashley, you might have a Monster Jam souvenir waiting for you. I'm excited for Halloween too. I got my costume ready. I am putting on a sweater, getting some extensions. I'm going as Adam Enticknap this year for Halloween, so I'm excited. The 7 Deuce 3 here. All right, let's dive in. Let's dive into the West Series. You get the dubious honor of competing against Weston Anderson, who all he's done since coming into Monster Jam is win his series. So he's going to try for his 4th straight. You're opposing him. When you saw your lineup and you saw Weston Anderson standing right next to you on that beautiful card, what were your thoughts?
I have had people come up to me since it's been announced I'm Marina West again. And it's so cool for me as a fan to get to be lined up next to these guys. But I have not had it easy since I have started.
Yeah.
And so, but that's what makes it so great. A challenge like that is what creates the best drivers out of all of us. And so I am so excited to get to line up next to Weston because I'm taking this as an opportunity to learn from him. And you can't, beat the best without, learning from the best, right?
Right.
And so that's my goal right now, is to just take notes. And I'm very grateful. I actually got to run with them a handful of times this summer and have learned a lot already. And don't take this shark for granted, okay? It's been a slow, steady progression for me, but that has been my plan as a driver. And I am getting more confident and going into 25, my third year competing. I'm feeling better than ever. So, Weston, watch out. We might, hey, put a little splish splash in the water. I don't want to say anything too soon, but I'm coming for blood.
I hope he's watching. I really do hope he's watching this. Weston, if you are, I didn't tell her to say any of this. This is all from the very vicious mind of Ashley Sanford. You get Cody Saucier, Banna Mahan. Let's talk about them next. So Cody is been around longer than most drivers have in Monster Jam. He has a lot to teach. Banna Mahan, of course, the Princess of Karna, is one of the best freestyle drivers in Monster Jam. I think last year on her series, she was second only to Weston in freestyle wins. So how do you intend on combating Cody's experience and Brianna's just absolute reckless driving that gets her this incredible freestyle reputation?
Absolutely. And I mean, it really is piggybacking on my last answer, because I meant that for all the drivers. And I mean, this is including all the drivers that you just mentioned and our independent drivers. It is not going to be easy. We've got tough competition. Brianna, I am so excited to be competing with another female again. And she is the Princess of Carnage, but I love that. I dig that about her. And once again, I'm taking notes, as well as Cody. Oh my gosh, talk about a phenomenal racer, and something that I have such a background in, right? I have such a diverse motorsports background. It is so high on my list of, really excelling in racing this year. And it's not going to be easy for me at all. But once again, that kind of competition is what motivates me and really, sets that fire up inside of me and has got me pumped and ready to go.
You get the Fantastic Four of Team Throttle Monster. So change in that lineup as Dalton Weiner is moving on to the Stadium Series. So Tim Hall Jr. will take his place in Jurassic Attack. We've seen Tim a few times this year already. Berto Trevino coming back in Monster Mutt Rottweiler, Joe Uri and Earthshaker, Devin Winfield in Velociraptor. Devin just won his first overall event championship of his career. So Team Throttle Monster has some of the best equipment on the circuit. They always compete. Berto has done a great job of staying consistent. I like what I see out of Tim. Joe has been around for a while, and then Devin is starting to really put something together. So even when you put the big names of Weston and Brianna and Cody, you still have to contend with Team Throttle Monster, and they are tough, especially on the West Coast when they're so close to home. And you guys open in Utah, where their shop is.
Yeah, talk about setting it up for, everyone is going to be excited coming in, but Throttle Monster guys are going to be amped up. And like you mentioned, it's so exciting for me actually to see the progression of these guys, because a lot of us have been on tour together on the Arena Series West now, whether they were crewing or driving and now still driving. It's been so cool to all together, create this family bond. But at the same time, once the helmets come on, we're all trying to take each other out, because we are all trying to become the best drivers we could possibly be. I am actually really excited, especially for Devin Winfield, who you mentioned, because fun fact, me and Devin actually auditioned at Monster Jam together way back in 2019 for our very first time. And so to come full circle now and be competing together is just such a cool thing. And, for the fans, everyone out there, I hope it inspires you. Just because something closes at one point in your life doesn't mean it won't open up again. And now here we are, getting to go into a very competitive season where it's going to be wild. And I'm not kidding. I have a feeling each weekend there's going to be some crazy upsets. There's going to be crazy moves being thrown out left and right. And just that motivation of watching each other is going to motivate all of us to keep that momentum going and see who can do the craziest stuff each weekend. And that's the kind of challenge I'm up for.
Well, I am up against the clock here, but I do have to say where you're going. You start in Salt Lake City, which bookends World Finals, so I'm sure it'd be a great moment for you to open in Salt Lake City and close your season out competing for a World Championship. You're going to the domes. You got the Fargo Dome on here, Tacoma Dome, which are always fun. You've done those before, but any city on your tour list that you're looking forward to competing in the most?
You said it, Tacoma Dome. Yeah. It's one of our first stops, but it is one of the best floors for an arena tour you could ever ask for, because it really is a baby stadium. And just the fans there are electric in Tacoma. And so once you have that kind of energy mixed into one of those once in a lifetime opportunities for us arena drivers, man, we're going to start off the tour wild. Weston and I have already discussed big air contests, so get ready.
Well, Ashley, you've been a lot of fun. Always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for joining me. Good luck in 2025.
Thank you so much.
Coming up next, we put a bow on the Arena Championship Series. The conclusion of Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, is next. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan. This week, we have been breaking down Arena Championship Series East, Central, and West. We heard from MJ Solorio, Jon Zimmer Jr., and Ashley Sanford breaking down their respective tours, their competitors, as well as their cities. It is going to be an incredible ride in 2025 for Monster Jam. No more guests. You're stuck with me for the last minute, so let's run back through it and put a bow. Arena Championship Series East is going to kick off January 4th and 5th in Greenville, South Carolina. You can see Kristen Anderson, Tony Oaks, MJ Solorio, MK Tolushka, Brandon Tolushka, Mark Hall, and Kurt Kramer. The Arena Championship Series West, Weston Anderson, Ashley Sanford, Cody Saucier, Brianna Mahan, Berto Trevino, Joe Uri, Devin Winfield, Tim Hall Jr. They kick off January 3rd at Salt Lake City at the Delta Center. So the Home Roll Finals kicks off the season. All of Monster Jam on January 3rd. Arena Championship Series Central, Matt Cody, Fernando Martinez, Jamie Sullivan, Angelina Knock, Jon Zimmer Jr. and Sr., Triton and Montana Robbins, the highly anticipated Robbins duo. They will kick off the action January 4th in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena. So after hearing all of this great talk about the Arena Series, I am curious as to who you think is going to win each series. So if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and type down in the comments who you think is going to win the East, Central, and West, what you're looking forward to, what city you're going to. And if you're not watching on YouTube and you're watching on Mav, or you're listening, you're downloading the podcast, make sure you shout us out on social media so we know who you're rooting for this year, where you're going to be at, where we can expect you. And by all means, please, when you're out there, post your videos to social media. Use the hashtag MonsterJam. It has been an awesome 2024 season for the arenas, and we're going to have an even better 2025. I will see you right here next week with another brand new Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil.